Alright guys, so I've had many times where I've gotten violations for reasons on TikTok that I don't think are right, that I don't think are valid, that I don't think should exist, right? But I take the more positive route. I really feel like you should take the more positive route when that happens, right? Because there's so many times where people get very angry and they blame TikTok. I've seen it. They yell at the screen, they get mad, and it's not good, right? Because, I know TikTok and YouTube, I don't usually get violations on YouTube at all anymore. But I know TikTok people can think it's a pain that they're getting violations, that it's tough for getting violations and you just can't stand it, whatever. But I mean, having the platform is way better than not, right? So, I mean, I've seen people, they yell, they get very, very angry. And like some of these things that they're saying on there are not, like if you get angry, like if you're doing that to your boss, I don't care how mean your boss is to you, whatever, like if your boss is really mean to you, if your boss is really mean to you and they're getting mad at you, I mean, you just let it happen, right? You have to let it happen. I mean, you can't do anything about it, right? They're just getting mad, and some bosses are really cruel and don't care for their employees, and that happens, right? They get mad, they just treat you like dirt, right? But I mean, you have to let it happen. I mean, you need that job. You need to make money. You can't just quit your job, right? So really, at the end of the day, you're not serving yourself. And TikTok and YouTube are kind of outside of yourself, right? Like they're beyond, right? Like they're like out there, right? I mean, that's like the if you have a boss like TikTok or YouTube that pays you, I mean, you don't know who's running it, you don't know who's there, you don't know what's really, like, you can't reach them really normally. So the best way to handle a violation, I mean, you can say you feel it's an error, you can say all that, right? I feel like my violations are almost always errors, but to say more or to yell or to get mad or whatever, like TikTok and YouTube are really good, and maybe they have a reason that you don't know about, right? I mean, usually I think they're just not treating you well. Not necessarily. I don't think they're not treating you well. I think there might be a reason that you don't know about, or maybe there's not a reason you don't know about, but maybe you just are doing something that you don't think is wrong, and other people are doing the same thing, but they just don't allow you to do that, and they allow them to do that, which you feel like that's why is that happening, right? And maybe it's an error you're thinking, but I mean, if they're telling you, you have to listen, right? So it's like any boss, right? I know for me, like once I pay much on YouTube and TikTok, I'll have very little, I probably won't have any violations. I'm always very adaptable, right? Like if they give me a violation, I just change, right? But I feel like, when you have a violation, any violation whatsoever, it's better than having a job where your boss has complete control over you and you're not getting paid well. Like TikTok and YouTube can pay very well, so really who cares what. Like, I mean, obviously, I heard of one person, she said her channel got banned, and she didn't do anything wrong. And I mean, I'm sure that won't happen to me. I'm very lucky. I feel like that won't happen to me. But I mean, like, you can get your channel banned for no reason too, right? So if it's just a violation or they just give you no access to your life, I mean, obviously I learned from it. And I'm going to take it seriously, right? I mean, if they say you're asking for too much or you're going to the GoFundMe or you're doing whatever, I mean, I feel like that's something that I want to do and I feel like it should be allowed, but if they're telling me it's not, I'm going to listen, I'm going to perform, I'm not going to ask for tips, I'm not going to ask for anything. I'm basically just going to perform and do my thing, and if somebody wants to tip me, great. But that's the thing. That's why I think it's an error, because you always see people do that. They always encourage their fans to tip or whatever. But maybe they're cracking down on them. I don't know, but I feel like that's not really a violation. But my appeal didn't go through. So what I'll do is I won't ask for anything. I'll just perform and be happy and do my thing, right? And that's what everybody wants to see anyway, right? So, even if you feel like the thing is wrong and there's an error, you have to just go with what they're saying and do your thing and really just learn from it, right? Bye now.